says, I am hoping to create city-state local pages targeting specific cities for different services. But my company does not have a physical location, or we do, but it's only one, but we're a national service company. Can I create city-state pages that target specific cities and states for each service provided and still rank for these queries? And the question seems to be like, should he have a service plus a city page and then a service plus a state? Or how's the most effective way to do that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of thoughts about this, and URL structure as well is a part of this. You do want to kind of think this out and pre-plan it. I'll give you an example. So we work with a personal injury attorney in town, and we've looked at a lot of other personal injury attorneys that are well known, especially in the Tampa Bay area, some nationally as well. And many of them do the same thing, right? In other words, they have some state pages, and then within each state they have, cities, and then each city may have multiple practice areas. So, for example, there is on the main page, there is a location, a practice area. So it's car accident attorney and motorcycle accident attorney and truck accident attorney, right? And that sort of primary page is just off the .com. It's just car accident attorney, motorcycle accident attorney, right? And that page is just really all about motorcycle accidents and what happens and the problems and whatnot. And it's really kind of focused on either nationally, or in this case, because they're kind of hitting Florida, more Florida based, right? But they also have physical locations in Tampa, in Winter Haven, and a few other places as well. And so we do have a Tampa page and we have a Winter Haven page. And those pages, on the Tampa page, we talk about all the practice areas in Tampa. On the Winter Haven page, we talk about all the practice areas in Winter Haven. Then we go a step further. In Tampa, we have a Tampa car accident injury attorney, Tampa motorcycle accident. So now we have basically a practice area page. It's generic. Then we have a practice area page for each of the main areas within each city. All right. So we have Tampa motorcycle, Tampa car, Tampa truck, and so on. We have Winter Haven car, Winter Haven motorcycle, Winter Haven truck, and so on. And those pages are focused on those cities, okay? Now, if you're going to add state level in here, you could do that too, right? You could say after the .com/location/Florida/Tampa, or forget location, just say /Florida/Tampa /personal injury /Florida, .com/Georgia/Atlanta/ personal injury, or Georgia/Atlanta/car accident. And then again, focus the content on that page just for that city and state. Now here's the thing though, okay? The majority of stuff, depending on the industry that you're in as well, if you're in a service industry, you're in a location-based industry, people looking for things locally. So here's a Florida personal injury attorney, and they want to start. In fact, the guys that we're looking at, they want to open up. It's just funny. This conversation happened today. They want to have pages for West Palm, where I guess there's a lot of high value cases that are going on down in West Palm. They also wanted to open up a page for Tallahassee. Okay, now we're not going into the multiple states just yet. They're just going cities. And I said, that's great. We can definitely make a page for Tallahassee and then talk about all the personal injury types in Tallahassee, and then we can create a car accident in Tallahassee and motorcycle accident in Tallahassee page, again kind of going along that same path of multiple pages for each practice area in each city. Okay, but here's the kicker: you're never going to show up in the local for that. You're not going to be in the map pack. You're not probably going to have the local service ads at the top that come up first for legal advice, for example. They come up at the top. So you're only ever going to get found in organic ranking, like down in the blue links, which are kind of down the page these days. And you've got those local service ads at the top with the Google guarantee. You've got the paid ads from Google Ads. You have the local ads. You may even have like people also ask or other frequently asked question kind of things. You might see that. And then you get to organic. Now on the mobile device, it's like really far down, it's like way down. You got to scroll to get there. So you can definitely get some traffic that way. You can definitely bring some people in, but you are going to be competing with other people who are strictly in that area, right? So if you're trying to get into West Palm Beach, for example, these guys are, but there is tons of attorneys that do the same kind of law in West Palm Beach, and they've been around forever, and their entire site is just West Palm Beach, you're going to be way down at the bottom. You know what I mean? Like it's just going to be really rare for you to show up. So unless you can get a physical location in a city or town you want to be in, and that's way harder now than it's ever been. You can't like go get a Regis location or get a UPS store kind of mailbox, because now you have to do video verification. You have to like show the street. You have to show the neighborhood. You have to show your signage. You have to prove that you have managerial access, like a key to get into the door and look at the sign. I mean, it's really getting very, very difficult to even get any new business verified, let alone one where you're not really there. You're just trying to expand. If you're national but have a physical location, like where your headquarters is, that'll be fine. But you're not going to show on the local. You're only going to show on organic. And again, what we're seeing is for service-based industries, there's already probably people in that town that have been doing nothing but that for that town for a long time. They're almost always going to kick your butt when it comes to rankings. But again, plan it out, write it on, put it in maybe like a spreadsheet. You're going to need a page for each state, a page for each city. Under that, each state. So you may have, Georgia / Atlanta and Georgia / Savannah. And you're going to have Florida / Tampa, Florida / Tallahassee, and then underneath each of those, you may have additional pages that cover the individual service. It does work. You will get ranked organically if you have good quality content. It's fairly unique. You cannot and do not use AI to basically rewrite the whole thing over and over again without doing some human interaction, some due diligence. Google's last core update, which we had a big meetup, I think it's now in the membership area as well, the other week on the core update for March, is going to impact that kind of scaling of content. So you don't want to create like 50 pages of content within a week, overnight on a site that's maybe updating once or twice a month as it is, right? You got to kind of keep up that consistency, maybe be a little bit more than you were doing. That's fine. But you got to be a little bit more careful about this. So URL structure makes a difference here, making it easy for people to find where they're looking. You also want to make sure that, if someone sees a URL, lawyer.com /Florida /Tampa / car accident lawyer. Well, you want to make sure that if they get rid of car accident lawyer, that Tampa shows up on a page and there's something there. And if you get rid of Tampa and Florida, Florida's got content on the page as well. You want to make sure those things kind of have content, have value, are unique. Because the other thing you've got to be careful of too is I can't remember the term now. Not plagiarizing. Can't remember the term when you are two pages are, kind of competing for the same term. Hang on,
cannibalizing.
Cannibalizing. Thank you. That's what it is. Thank you. I could remember it. Yeah, cannibalize. So you may have cannibalization going on where if you have two pages that are kind of focused too much on the same thing, you could be kind of splitting focus a bit. So you've got to be really careful about what you do, how you write it. Make sure one focuses on a particular city or a particular state or more national. So yes, you can do it. I've seen it done a million times before. There's a lot of directories out there that do exactly the same thing. A lot of well-known, very successful sites do the same thing. Let me share my screen quickly here. Let me go to so Morgan & Morgan is a big personal injury law firm. This is not my client, but you can see under locations, right? They've got all the states. So let me just go to, there's one state here. This one also, like California, Florida. Notice they've got multiple cities as well. If I were to go to just one without that, hit Delaware. I'll click on Delaware for a second. Let that load. Again, this is not my client. It's just a competitor to my client.
They need to work on their page speed.
Yeah, there's something slow for sure on this page. There we go. There it is. You can see their URL, right? Office locations, Delaware, and Wilmington. So I guess that's a city they've picked. Now, if I get rid of Wilmington, wow, it's still taking forever. Let me go to just Delaware and see if I get anything on Delaware. And no, just I get in that same kind of Wilmington area here. If I go back to location, let's go to like Florida and let's pick, so since I'm in Tampa, we'll pick Tampa. This is real slow. Well, that goes. Let me open up. I think Farah, another one that is a competitor to Morgan and Morgan and some other another big Tampa firm. So they actually have Florida and Georgia as a main menu item here. And if I go to Florida, here's all the cities, right? So if I go to Tampa, so here's Tampa. It says Tampa personal injury lawyers, right? Now they have benefits of working, view more results. Now notice this. Now our Tampa personal injury practice areas, and they've got all this is including and lists out all these things. Well, if we hover over these are just going like some of them. So it's kind of hard. So this car accident one goes to Tampa car accident lawyer. This goes to Tampa truck accident lawyer. But bicycles goes to Florida bicycle accident lawyer. So they probably don't have a Tampa page for that one. So they just kind of reverted back to the generic one. But if I go to, let's say, this car accidents one, it's going to go to Tampa car accident lawyer. Okay. So they already have, here's a practice area, and I can go to, here's defective drugs and all this other stuff in here. I don't know where car accident lawyer is. Oh, that's for more. Here's Tampa injury, so they've changed their menu a little bit. Their menu kind of updates. It's a little confusing, but they have all of these individual pages in Tampa, right? So this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? They've got a page for car accident lawyer, a page for truck accident lawyer. I probably can even put in like truck, I bet. No. Let's see. Yep, here's Tampa truck accident lawyer, right? So they have a well thought out URL structure using, in this case, cities and then practice areas. And again, the one thing I don't like about this, right, is that what if I wanted to go back to Georgia? Well, now it's like, here's locations here, but it's only for Tampa. I got to go to more Florida locations, and there's Florida and Georgia again, so they're kind of going back. So it's a little kludgy, I think, but structurally, in regards to how they're putting out content and kind of where they're putting it, it's exactly what the questioner is asking, right? Is lay it out this way. You can definitely get found this way. You can definitely get links into this site, into this page. And you can see if any, people can definitely link into these pages. You can interlink your own pages. You see they kind of do it here in Florida offices. They have a link to all their Florida offices, right? Which is great. So if you go to like Middleburg, that's going to take me to Middleburg. And there we go to Middleburg. Now, again, interestingly, they don't say Florida or Georgia Middleburg. They just say Middleburg, but and these are their locations for, here's all the different stuff you got here too, right? So it's definitely complicated. It can get a little bit overwhelming. Like here's under Middleburg, here's like Jacksonville stuff, right? So here's all the Jackson. Maybe that's close to where Middleburg is and near Jacksonville. I don't know. But if I go to Jacksonville car accident, it's probably going to say Jacksonville car accident lawyer, right? Consistency, they're going city / practice area. They're staying consistent in the practice areas: car accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, lawyer, or attorney if you prefer. But this is good URL structure, and this is kind of what you would need to do if you wanted to go national. Kind of like Morgan and Morgan. They've got to, Florida, Tampa. Scrolling down, you've got, Tampa ready to fight for you. Scrolling down more, they've got a bunch of FAQs. I don't love this site, honestly. I mean, look at all these scroll bars I hate these like in page stuff, and you have the directions to scroll down for more, but you can't click on it. It's really not a very good site. And then here's another one, you got to like scroll within to see, and then more, it's, I don't know. I don't love the way that this site is, considering all the money they spend on advertising across the nation. You'd think their website would be a top-notch site. It's really not. There's better sites. Even smaller sites are better than this one. But they do quite well though. So anyway, I think that answers the question. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, of course, just feel free to ask a follow-up next week.
I would imagine something like that is probably best paired with sort of like a national branding marketing campaign as well.
Yeah. And the nice thing about having those individual pages, right, is that if you really want to, let's say, maybe you want to focus on like commercial truck accidents in Jacksonville, right? You can make an ad, or you can do something that lands you on the Jacksonville commercial truck accident page rather than just on a generic page that shows the whole state or the whole country. And so that can definitely help you in your external marketing, in your social networking. If you're doing social networking and you're part of a Jacksonville group, you can, and someone asks about help, right? You see somebody needs some help for truck, they were in a car accident, need some help, and they're in Jacksonville. Well, you can send them to the Jacksonville car accident page rather than sending them to some national name. Now they feel like they've got someone local, they've got someone they can reach out to as well. So there's definitely something to be said for this. It's been done for a long time. I've seen it done for cities, states. I've seen it done for zip codes even as well, adding zip codes to get found. There is, let me see if I can, let me share my screen again. There was another one I used as an example for years. It was called Thompson's. There it is. Look at it. It comes back up. Perfect. The TH and it came up. Love history. So Thompson's Landscape, this is their site. They've been around for a long time. They're in Texas. And they have a service areas and you're view by zip, and here's all the different places they go, right? View by zip. And if you go in here, these are all like the little locations. They have the zip codes as well. Carrollton and the 3 zip codes for them. Frisco. I like how this little menu kind of slides down with me, so I can easily go from one page to the other. What's interesting, let me go to Allen and Carrollton and Frisco. Just open 3 of them. And if I get here, oh, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant to do. Hold on. Yeah, let me go here. Let me click on like Frisco. Open link in a new tab. Let me go to Little Elm, open link in a new tab, and let me go to McKinney and open link in a new tab. Okay. So now if I look here, this is a page called Service Area Lawn Care Frisco, Texas, TX, right? Here's one, Lawn Care Little Elm, Texas, or TX, and here's Lawn Care McKinney, TX. So again, URL structure pretty much consistent across the board. They're just using, they're only in Texas, only in these cities, so they're just putting in McKinney, TX for Texas. Each page has its own content, its own headings. Each page has its own content. They're not very good. I would like to see some more images, a little bit more broken up pages, a little bit more of a contact form on this page, right? Just so people can reach out. It's not very good from a design perspective for usability. So I'm going to give them a little hard time on that, but they have individual pages. And what's interesting though, is if I type in, yeah, I'm going to go Lawn Care Little Elm. I'm just that, right? Lawn Care Little Elm. Let's do that without Texas in there. Now, they're not going to show up here because it is not a local listing, okay? But if I look a little further down, let's see. There they are right there, right? There's that page showing up organically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th or 6th, right? If I put Little Elm Lawn Care, kind of switch it around the other way, or Lawn Service even, let's see what we get here. Not going to show here. Ground, Lawn Tech, JC, Thompson again at 5. Right? If I go to, what other place were they in? Frisco, right? Frisco here. If I were to type in Frisco Lawn Service, not going to show here. Lawn, they're 6th here, right? So it's showing organically. They're not the top, but they're showing. They've been around a long time. Those pages haven't changed in a bunch of years either. So the structure of this works. It worked a hell of a lot better 10 years ago before we had local, before we had LSAs and other things, because you can have local service ads for home services like lawn care. So it's definitely relegated down further on the page than it's ever been, but it can certainly work. It can certainly have some value. The question is, have you done all the other stuff yet? Like, is your page optimized? Do you have great links? Do you have good content? Is your site fast and speedy? You start going and doubling the size of your page, but not fixing some of the other kind of core technical issues. You might have your time better served somewhere else. Get an audit, see if you got broken links, see if you got slow speed, see if you got other issues that are technically going to be more of a problem than trying to go out and blow up the size and scope of your site. And once those are done, or at least relatively in hand, then go ahead and start doing this kind of thing. And it's only going to have good value, assuming you write quality content, you make it unique for the page, and you focus the specifics of the page on that city and or state. And that was a long answer, but hopefully that will, make some sense in the long run.